Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our respected lecturers, Madam Hana Mulyani binti Harun and my fellow friends. My name is Maizatul Aqma binti Saat, matrix number 253523 from Group 5 will present our speech analysis titled Our Dangerous Obsession with Perfectionism is Getting Worse. First of all, the summary of the public speaking from Thomas Curran is about the obsession to the perfectionism bring dangerous impact to people nowadays. Why? Because this perfectionism made people feel frustrated as they do not satisfied for the imperfection and they are struggling to be perfect in all aspects. The society reflection to the personal identity and how young people today communicate with each other change as the perfectionism rising. Next, people feel insecure on how they are performing and appearing in front of people. Next, perfectionism contribute to honest psychological problems such as mental health and impact to family relation. Last but not least, perfectionism rise question about how to structure the society and whether the society emphasize on evaluation and testing does give benefit to people. Thomas Curran is a social psychologist who studies about the personality of perfectionism, how it develops, and its effect on mental health. Thomas Curran also a member of the Center for the Study of Motivational Change and Health in both United Kingdom. He is also an author of more than 30 published papers. In a formal speech, a good introduction will capture on audience attention. The speaker can attention by related the topic to the audience, question the audience, and arouse the curiosity of the audience. From the videos, Thomas Curran gained attention by related the topic to the audience. This can be proven when he said that I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Now, how many times have you heard that one? Over drinks, maybe with friends or perhaps with family at Thanksgiving during 41 seconds in the videos. After that, Thomas Curran questioned directly to the audience. As an example, he said that what does it say about us and our society that there is a kind of celebration in perfection? This video is during 1 minute 14 seconds. Next, Thomas Curran aroused the curiosity of the audience by questioning them. The question that has made listeners curious and want to know more about the topic. So, listeners will focusing on him because they want to get answer to the question he poses. Thomas Curran established his credibility because he is a well-known social psychologist. The personality of perfectionism was his career. He also the author of more than 30 published papers and has received numerous awards for his scholarship and research. His credibility was reflected in minute 1.48 when he stated that his study of perfection, he saw limited evidence that perfectionists were more successful. On the contrary, they feel dissatisfied and admit the lingering feeling that they are never perfect enough. Next, Thomas Curran established his credibility with knowledge and experience. As an example, on his research, there are 3 elements of perfectionism that associate with compromised mental health, which is heightened depression, heightened anxiety, and suicide ideation. The research explained can be listening in minute 9.10 during the videos.
Here I'm going to tell you all about the question number 3 and 4. For question number 3 is preview the body of speech. So here, Thomas Karen started his speech by telling both of the interesting and serious point of his title. He start it with it's quite he stated pros and cons of being a perfectionist. So here it's quite remarkable how many of us are quite happy to hold our hands up and say we are perfectionists. But there is an interesting and serious point because our begrudging admiration for perfection is so pervasive that we never really stop to question that concept in its own term. So here he stated both pros and cons of being a perfectionist, which is his title. So my question for number 4 is main points. So here I have 3 main points. First is make people feel displeased and frustrated. So people likely to hold perfectionism up as a symbol of worth, but in contrast, it will make people feel displeased and frustrated because they might think they are not perfect enough. Which I get the main point from the line at 2 minutes 18 seconds, which is they feel discontented and dissatisfied and make a lingering sense that they are never quite perfect enough. So for number 2, being a perfectionist, the dangers of being perfectionist is change society reflections to personal identity and interaction between young people. So here I have line from 2 minutes and 53 seconds, which is a change society reflects a change sense of personal identity, and with it differences in the way in which young people interact with each other and the world around them. So here Thomas Karen state that as society is changing, it affects the society as whole, reflections to someone's personal identity and how young people interact with each other and with the world around them. So my last main point is number 3, which is society take advantage of someone using their insecurities. So here I got it from the line at 6 minutes 20 seconds, which is this is a society that preys on their insecurities. So here means Thomas Karen relates that when metrics are being measured and used publicly in education to improve standards and performances of the students. So these metrics will make young people insecure as the society magnifies their imperfections. Means society use their insecurity to attack them whenever they want. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, next I'm gonna talk about supporting ideas. Okay, for the first point, which is make people feel displeased and frustrated. Okay, the speaker used expert testimony to strengthen his point. In his speech, he said that the clinical case report showed that perfectionism conceals a host of psychological difficulties, including things like depression, anxiety, anorexia, bulimia, and even suicide ideation. So, from this speech, you can see that he used the clinical case report to make his point stronger. Okay, for the second point, which is change society reflections to personal identity and interaction between young people. Okay, in this point, actually he used 2 types of supporting ideas, which is the first one is brief example. You can see you can see that he said that, so let me give you an example. Young people today are more preoccupied with the attainment of the perfect life and lifestyle in terms of their image, status, and wealth. So from here you can see that he gives an example so that his audience can understand his point better and easier. Okay, for the other than that, he also used expert testimony, where he used data from Pew. So in his speech, he said like this: data from Pew show that young people born in the US in the late 1980s are 20% more likely to report being materially rich as among their most important life goals relative to their parents and their grandparents. So you can see here that he used the testimony, he used the data from the Pew to make his point stronger. Okay, and for the third point, which is society take advantage of someone using their insecurities. Okay, from this third point, he used peer testimony, which is he used his experience as a mentor when he met a perfectionist person called John. Okay, in his speech, he said like this: in my role as mentor to many young people, I see these life effects of perfectionism firsthand, and one student sticks out in my mind very vividly. John, not his real name, was ambitious, hardworking, and diligent, and on the surface, he was exceptionally high achieving, often getting first-class grades for his work. So, in this speech, we can see that he used his experience to tell the point, to make the point stronger. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Pranee with matric number 263155. I will continue with the part of language resources and cognitive use. There are 4 types of language resources, which is using language appropriately, using language accurately, using language clearly, and using language vividly. The speaker used the language resources of using language vividly in the term of repetition. Repetition is where the same word or set of words at the beginning or ending of the successive clauses or sentences is reiterated. As an example from the speech is, no one is flawless. If we want to help our young people to escape from the trap of perfectionism, we will teach them that in this chaotic world, life will often defeat us, but that is okay. Failure is not a weakness. If we want to help our young people to outgrow this self-defeating snare of impossible perfection, then we will raise them in the society that has outgrown that very same direction. As we can see that in this speech, the speaker is repeating the same sentences that where is, if we want to help our young people, then we will in the both sentences that I have mentioned. Next is cognitive use. The first cognitive use in the speech is internal preview. Internal preview will direct the audience to the which point the speaker will cover next with more detail than transitions. After discuss any main point, the speaker will briefly preview the subpoint which make up the point is being addressed. As an example from the speech, now we have known for decade and decade that the perfectionism is a host psychological problems, but there was never a good way to measure it. As we can see, the speaker is directly key the audience into psychological problem that occurred by the obsessions of the perfectionism. Besides, cycles is also used in the speech. Cycles is a very short statement that indicate where the speaker is in the speech. Cycles usually are the numbers used to suggest that what will the speaker say next is important. As in the speech, the speaker used first, second, and third to focus the audience that what he will say next. That as an example from the speech, the first is self-oriented perfectionism, the irrational desire to be perfect. The second is socially prescribed perfectionism, the sense that the social environment is necessarily demanding. The third is the other-oriented perfectionism, the impositions of unrealistic standards on other people. So the speaker is just first, second, third to make the audience focus on what he want to say. The connective is effectively used as the speaker can connect the point together so that the audience can understand it easily. This also help the audience to focus on the main point that the speaker stated and make the speech flow smoothly.
So the next is type of reasoning that speaker rely most throughout the speech, and the second one is the emotion that the speaker shows to their audience. So the first is the type of reasoning that speaker rely is analogical reasoning. Analogical reasoning means speaker compares two cases and infers that what is true in the first case also true for the second case. So I just want to pick two statements that what speaker said in his speech. The first is about the speaker said, we know from clinician case reports that perfectionism conceals a host of psychological difficulties, including things like depression, anxiety, anorexia, and even suicide. And the second case is about the rate of suicides in US alone increased by 25% across the last 2 decades. So these two statements shows that speaker wants to compare the first case and the second case because of the same reason, which is about obsession with perfectionism. So on this basis of comparison, we can conclude that the perfectionism will cause a bad impact for our future and our life. And for the second part is about the emotion that the speaker shows to the audience. So what is the emotion that speaker shows to the audience? The speaker shows the fear emotion to the audience because we know that it's fear emotion because of the speaker keep talking about the cause and impact in order to remind the audience that perfectionism is getting worse among people, especially young people. And the speaker always mentioned that perfectionism will make people feel discontent and dissatisfied amid a lingering sense that they are never quite perfect enough. The speaker also give an example about young people today are more preoccupied with the attainment of the perfect life and lifestyle. Also, young people always borrow more than the older generation, and they spend much greater proportion of their income. So this is a society that amplifies their imperfection. That's all.
Okay, I will continue with my part about the method I use to prepare for the ending speech, Before that, my name is Nur Afifah binti Zolkarnain. My metric number 261962. Okay, as we learned before this, we learned about two ways the signal for ending speech, which is crescendo ending and dissolve ending. What is crescendo ending? Crescendo ending is the conclusion in which the speech build to the zenith of intensity and power. Okay, it is combination of many things, including a vocal, speech, choose a word, a gesture, dramatic contents, pulses, and possibly loudness. Okay, in the video, the speaker used a crescendo ending in minutes, 30 minutes, 11 seconds. In the speaker say, every time they are knocked down from the peak again. Okay, next is dissolve ending. What is dissolve ending? Dissolve ending is a final words fade like spotlight, bringing the speech to the emotional close. Okay, in the video, the speaker used the dissolve ending in minutes 13 minutes 29 seconds. Okay, move to the next. Next part is reinforce the central idea. Okay, before this we are learn about reinforce the central idea. Have 4 ways to reinforce our central idea, which is first, summarize your speech. 2, end with a quotations. 3, make a dramatic statement, and lastly is refer to introductions. Okay, in the video, the speaker used 2 ways to reinforce the central idea, which is summarize your speech. Okay, in 40 minutes and 48 seconds, the speaker say, but most of all, if we want our young people to enjoy mental, emotional, and physiological health, then we will invite them to celebrate the joy and the beauty of infection as a normal and natural part of everyday living and loving. Okay, in next is make a dramatic statement. The speaker say in 30 minutes 11 seconds, he say, what can they do about it? Every time they are knocked down from that mountain top, they see no other option but try scaling that peak again. Okay, lastly, I will summarize the whole of the video. Okay, the summary in the video is the obsessions of perfectionists bring dangerous impact for people nowadays. Okay, first is make people feel frustrated as they do not satisfy for the infection, and they struggling to be perfect in all the aspect. Okay, number 2 is they feel insecure on how they are performing an appearance in front of people. And lastly is contribute to host psychological problems such as mental health and impact of family relations. That's all from us. Thank you.